Well, hello, everybody. How are you? So it's really neat if you heard that applause. I'll tell you what, it makes perfect sense this afternoon because I am on location in Lilydale, New York. I actually leave for the airport in just about 45 minutes, but I thought that I cannot leave here without doing an episode from this incredible place. So this is basically the Mecca, the spiritualist home for mediums. It is a place in New York. It's about an hour south of Buffalo. And it's in the middle of kind of nowhere. And it's been around for hundreds of years, like the 1800s. And it started as this free thinkers society where people came together to talk about this paranormal activity, to talk about spirit, to talk about our opportunity to discuss it openly, because at that time there had been so much religious holdings that there really wasn't a space. So people used to come and picnic and hang out. And so to this day, it is still very much preserved. So if you come here, not only do you feel the energy walking through the gates, it is truly this vortex. They actually have a couple places. One is the stump, the inspirational stump. The other is a place called the Forest Temple. And these are places where there are vortexes. So you might want to say, Colbs, what's a vortex? Or, I hear that word thrown around. I don't really know what it means. So a vortex is basically like a magnifying glass. So whatever emotions, feeling, or vibration is in that spot, this vortex will magnify it. And I will tell you, it works. It's when you go to this stump. So this stump is basically in the middle of a forest. I'm not even exaggerating, literally the middle of a forest. And it was a stump. Now, here's the great thing, okay? They didn't cut down a tree for this. It was founded as a stump. It was already a stump when it was founded. And mediums would gather in this area, and they would stand on this stump, and then they would deliver messages. So, here's the thing. Here's what I find fascinating. People can be skeptic or all of that, wondering if this is real. Well, the thing is, you guys, this has been going on for over 300 years. How does something last that long if there's not some truth to it, right? So that to me in itself is showing us the proof in the pudding, as they say. So this stump, so what they did is they actually ended up building benches. And so people gather, they come from all over the world, and mediums, they come from all over the world to deliver messages from spirit to the recipients. And it's incredible. Now, the stump, you can't stand on the stump anymore just because it's too fragile from so many years of duress. But what they have done is preserved it. So it's preserved. You can stand in front of it. The mediums stand in front of it. And the power and the energy are absolutely incredible. And you can feel, it's almost like you can feel it. And then at night, so if you come at night, you can actually see spirit. It's so remarkable. And they also have it at the temple as well, the Forest Temple, also an outdoor venue. And again, so here's the thing. They have what's called registered mediums. So the mediums, messengers of spirit, right? The mediums can be registered. So in Lilydale, this community that still looks like it's from the 1800s, they have these mediums that actually do testing here. So it's testing through guidelines here. And it's quite a rigorous program that they have. And you get certified here. Not everyone does it. It's not like you just take it and do it. There's testing and all as well. But these registered mediums are the only ones in the town that are actually allowed to deliver messages. So that's why you'll see I don't have the call line open. Not because I gotta tell you, I would give anything to just start giving out messages from here because it's been unbelievable. But it's actually forbidden here if you're not a registered medium. And so we want to honor that as well. But they do allow visiting mediums. So visiting mediums are mediums that work professionally or do this work at least at some level in their own area. No matter what country, no matter what area, they do their work, and then they travel here and then deliver in front of the stump or the temple or wherever the services are being held. Sometimes they could be in the assembly hall as well. So what they do is they allow the visiting mediums to also deliver these messages, and it's beautiful. And then they have a third type. Now, the third type is a student medium, and that's someone who's learning the gift, learning the craft, and they allow them to deliver messages as well. And there's a guy, Tim. Do you want to come say hi on the radio show? So this is Tim. Tim has been here 50 years. Tim, that's the camera.
Hello.
And they'll be online, so you can just say hi to everybody.
Hello.
And is there anything you want to say about mediumship for your 50 years of experience?
Some words for some good advice. Everybody has goodness in them. Concentrate on that part of you that is good by feeling good. And do not move away from it. And the Spirit will move you and something good will come to you. As for a message for everybody.
Oh, thank you so much.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not too often that we get a legend. Look at that. Legend just walked right in right there. I'll tell you what, that's how Spirit works, right? We have a legend, and what wonderful message from him. So we're very, very lucky. But so the student mediums are allowed. So, no matter where you are in the world, if you have this connection or this desire to either learn more about your gifts, learn more about crystals or angels or healing or psychic or mediumship, this is the place for you to come. And it's open to everybody. It's open to everybody. And again, they have this system in place, and it is for the integrity of everything. And that's what keeps it. When you go to the library and you see these pioneers that were here to develop and to build this and to believe in it so strongly that they created a community around it. And it's only open 2 months a year. So I believe it opens up in June, I think, and then it's open for 2 months straight, and then it's closed. But I mean, truly famous Mavis Patilla has been here. Tony Stockwell has been here. I believe John Holland has been here. Lisa Williams moved from LA to here. I do love it here, but I can't handle the winter here. There's no way. But she moved here because she believes so much in her pioneership and mediumship and what she wanted to accomplish, that she's actually a part of the community here making change. And she's got this house. It's called they call it the Three Sisters, which is very cool. And there's these 3 old houses right next to one another. And let's see. So this Maplewood, I'm in the Maplewood Hotel, kind of like a what's that called? Like a bed and breakfast, if you think. Very, very, very old. Now, I have to say, there is a lot of spirit activity here. A lot. Some people, they can't stay the whole night here. There's lights that go on and off, doors that open, noises. They hear people going up and down stairs. It's been incredible. So last night, I don't know if you guys saw my Facebook. If you don't, I have a Facebook page. I think if you're watching the live stream now, but I have a Facebook page. And last night, I was woken by energy. I kept feeling it. So I grabbed my camera, and then there's all these orbs shooting around. They also have fairy spottings here. So you go on the trails at night and so there is this idea that you go after the fireflies so that you don't get confused as to what light is shining. But you can see fairies. You can see the light of fairies, which is very neat. And they have ghost tours here. So they'll take people on tours and show them all the energy and the spirits and allow people to connect. And you can get readings here from the registered mediums. They have really good food here. You'd be surprised. They got a couple little cafes, delicious, delicious food. I mean, they have made this such an unbelievable place. There's no washers and dryers. There's barely any Wi-Fi some places. No TVs. You don't see TVs around and things like that. It is like going back in time. Instead of a horse and buggy, you may see a golf cart. So that's how they roll. But, you know, it is this beautiful place. And so for any of you, you know, that feel inspired by coming here, it actually intensifies your own feelings and your own emotions and gives you an opportunity to practice them in a really, really fun, safe community. They actually have a children's week. So that was last week. I missed it by a week, but they have a children's week, which this is open to children honing their gift and understanding and opening it up. So there's so much here and so much history and so much spirit around that it is, you can understand not only why it's a historical landmark, but why spirit chooses to hang out here as well, why they want to stay here as well. And everything here is so beautiful. And I will say this, you know, I got here last Thursday and I've been serving at the Stomp and the temple, the Forest Temple. And I've been serving and I had 2 classes the last 2 nights. And the overwhelming feeling of being welcomed here by the mediums, by the workers here has just been so touching. People are so kind here and so nice here. And it just makes you feel like home. I mean, there's no other way to say it. They call this your spiritual home, and they really mean it. It absolutely feels like your spiritual home. And they do a great, great job at making everyone feel welcomed and invited, and certainly allowing them this opportunity to talk to one another. There's a lot of conversations. So if you go on the front patio porch, let's call it a porch, it's a proper porch, there's rocking chairs everywhere. And people just sit in the rocking chair and they talk to one another, and they'll just sit outside and read a book or have a picnic. And we don't do that enough. You know, we get so bogged down in our life and our busy thing that we don't really get to do that. And so you wonder why, if you want to connect with spirit, why it's not always there, or why is it more awake at night? A lot of times that's because we're busy. We disturb the energy. We get so busy in the physical realm, in the physical energy, that we're not settling and allowing that channel and allowing that flow to come forward. And that's why at night you may experience more activity. And that's really because your logical mind is at rest and your defenses are down and you're getting into that sleep state. So they just love to dive in. So maybe your loved ones come in and they start talking to you, or you have a dream about them, or you start to feel the presence of something. So a lot of times people don't always understand some of the feelings. So I kind of wanted to just share that a little bit. If you get like an anxious feeling, see, sometimes, especially when you're just starting out, you may feel an anxious feeling, and we perceive that to be fear, or we perceive it to be a negative thing. But actually, it's not. I don't believe it is. I actually believe this is our physical response to us raising vibration to connect with spirit. So I think it's a physical thing that is actually happening. So when my heart starts to race, or I get very, very excited, So when that feeling comes, try not to get afraid. Just start to open up that channel of communication and see who steps forward for you. One of the other really great things is the animal spirit here. So they have a pet cemetery here, which is really, really neat. So it's back by the forest. You know, I was talking about that forest where the stump is. They have this pet cemetery. And it goes forever. I mean, it's really big. And people come from all over the world to bury their fur babies and or to set stones out, to set monuments out. So it's from all over the world that people go ahead and put their animals at rest here. And it's a beautiful, and it would made me think, you know, my boys are in spirit, and I have their collar and I have some of their fur, and I thought, you know, I'm going to bring it here next year, and I'm gonna bury it too. You know, how many of you hold on to your dog collar or the paw print? We all do, right? I think for any of us who are fur mommies. And this is a place where you can let it go and know and trust that your baby will rest in peace here and will be at peace with lots of other animals. I mean, it literally is this side of the Rainbow Bridge, which is pretty incredible. There are legends here, absolute legend mediums here. There are visiting mediums that come in that are legends, but I'll tell you what, there are some registered mediums here. There are legends and unbelievable to watch and to see. And to see again the effort that they put through and the dedication that they've put through. It's what builds this. And I think that the future of our mediumship, it is becoming more conversational. We are able to discuss it in more open places. I know that there are some places that it feels like we're not allowed to talk about it, or it feels not welcomed, but I do feel that that's going to change. I really, really do. I bet you 20 years from now, this is going to be so much more conversational and more public, because more and more people are realizing we just can't keep denying what we're seeing and what we're feeling and what we're knowing, and really what science is proving. And really, to be honest, science is just catching up to what the mediums already know. Science is just catching up. That's all they're doing. And I think when we really start to see this, it's really neat. When I was sitting at the stump right before this, so it's 11:22, everybody. When I was sitting at the stump, there was these moths all around me. I mean, 3 or 4. I mean, it was unbelievable. But that's how we can all pull in this energy. You'll find it. You just pull it in here. It's like a magnet, and it starts to come in and it starts to flow. And so if you get the chance, come here. If anybody is watching this tonight, and you're on the East Coast, if you're from New York or Pennsylvania, and you get a chance, plan a trip. Lisa Williams is actually teaching a beginner's mediumship this weekend. And that's a wonderful way for you to just start to open up that connection with the spirit world. And you can still sign up for it. So I would absolutely recommend it. And, it's not too far of a drive for a lot of you if you're on the East Coast side. So come here and do it. What are you waiting for, right? And she and I did this little Facebook Live this morning. It was really fun. It's incredible who we see. Oh, I got to see Victoria too. She's a friend on Facebook. But you run into people and you're like, hey, I ran into Michelle in LA from the Circle. It's just the timing of people and how it works out. And it's a beautiful thing here. And again, the sense of welcome and community and the sense of smile, the sense of vortexes like crazy. And they embrace everything here. They really go through everything. They have genealogy, they crystals, all of it. They would go into auras here, spirit, psychic, angels, all of it. And no palm reading, though. That I know. No palm reading and no medical intuitives. So those I do know that they don't do here. And but it's really, really incredible. And the houses all look like the 1800s. They don't allow the structure to change for the houses. They make sure that everything is maintained in its elements. And they really do a great job at preserving and building and giving back to the community in so many ways. And I hope you guys get to come here. But what I wanted to do is share this with you. We worked it out. I really can't thank Tony enough for just really, this poor guy. It was very hard with the time difference, and then wanting to do the services, and then the plane flight out. And I really appreciate how much he worked with me to bring this to you guys, because you guys are with me every week. You're watching this every week. We're tuning in. We have amazing guests all the time, but this is an amazing place. How many times do I get to bring you an amazing, special place? We are doing this live with Colby Psychic Rebel in a vortex, right? And it's quite incredible. And I have felt so blessed here and so at home. And that's why I want you to make a trip here, make a journey here, make a pilgrimage. And you could bring friends, you could bring family, and you can make it a family affair. And you can connect to loved ones, you can connect to living ones, and you can bring your pets, you can bring your parents, you can bring your kids, or you can come alone if you need to just get away from everybody. But they do a beautiful, beautiful job here. And I have been quite honored to have been permitted to do 2 workshops here. And, I just feel really, really grateful for that. And again, the friends that I have met, and it's friends I met a few years ago. So I've been back. This is my 4th year. And it's friends I've met 4 years ago, this year, and I can't wait to see them next year and to be a part of it. And again, to be in the presence of the legends that are here. And it's with the utmost respect. And mediumship is changing. And I think when we can accept that mediums work differently, and accept that the personality of the medium also contributes to the message, also contributes to how spirit works with them to bring things forward, the more we can embrace that we are all different, and that each medium that you get to witness and that you get to see has their own unique fingerprint with spirit, and spirit is choosing them. And when we celebrate that, when we celebrate this differences, that our canvases are different, that we're going to see this really open up. We're going to really, really see that the light shines so brightly. And when we celebrate that, I think it's really going to change mediumship. I really, really do. And it's us bringing it out and connecting in a way that is uniting us, and uniting us with spirit, uniting us with the other side, which, when we say the other side, really in so many ways is this side. It's just, I feel like for me, spirit isn't far, far away. They're right here. So you may feel them. If you get a chill or the hair or goosebumps, you feel the hair on the back of your neck, you feel any sort of physical like this, that spirit around you, and that's trusting that they're around you and acknowledging it. But we get into our logical mind and we want to dismiss it, or we get afraid to pursue it. We get afraid to embrace it. We get afraid, what if we're wrong? And the thing is that you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It is about just trusting that connection that we all have. And if you're brave and you want to experience some activity, I highly recommend the Maplewood. But there's many, many, many beds and breakfasts here. You have to book far in advance because, again, it's only open 2 months, so everything gets booked super quick. But, if it's on your bucket list, why not put it on your active list, right? Not a one day, make it this day. So start planning and doing it. And I hope this was a bit of an inspiration for you to do it. And I have to cut this episode short today because I have to get on a plane. I have to get to Buffalo. But I did just want to share this with you. I did the coffee with Colby. I do that every morning, Monday through Friday. Normally it's at 10. It's been a little wonky this week because of the stump service. But what you can do is, if you watch that video, I tried to take you on a little bit of tour. I'm not exactly sure my videography is the best, but you get a sense of it. You get a feeling of it. And, sharing a little bit, because we have to start sharing with one another, sharing our experiences, sharing the joy, sharing our stories. People don't share their stories as much, and we have to. We have to, because physical photos aren't as much. A lot of things are electronic. People aren't writing handwritten letters as much. So if we don't start sharing these stories, we're not going to have people to pass them down to, or to pass them along. And we want to continue the story of mediumship. We want to continue this story of communication and how we have the ability to connect. And I do hope that you have felt the energy in this space today. I do hope that you have enjoyed this very, very, very special episode of Live with Colby Psychic Rebel. Me. And and I am appreciative that you've tuned in and you're following. If you've written a comment on Facebook, just know that I can't see them right now, but I will check them and I will look at them. So if you have a question or something about this area, let me know. But I do just want to thank you guys. I really want to thank you. And I will be live back in the studio next week with a whole new episode. And until then, I will say goodbye. Bye, everybody.